Hey guys, what's up? I want to make another video, and if it's longer than 2 minutes, then fuck it, I'll just put it on YouTube. You know, there's been a lot of beautiful sunsets and skies lately, and I always appreciate a beautiful sky. At the very least, I'll look up for it. Like, I'll tell myself, okay, I have shit to do. 1 second, enjoy it. 2 seconds, enjoy the brilliance of it. And then I end up looking at it for like 2 minutes. I've looked at the skies for 20 minutes. I've looked at the skies for an hour or two. I love a beautiful sky. When I was a kid, my dad, the portal to incredible knowledge when I was a kid was the internet. And maybe it still is, although I think that's really meditation and tuning into the heavens that can connect with you when you pray, when you meditate. That's not what this video is about. Not really. Giving all credit to God, giving all credit to God above. Want to make sure I say that. So when I was a kid, my dad was on the internet. He always went on yahoo.com for just to check. I think he checked stocks, because even though he had drowned our family in debt, I think he still traded, probably more responsibly than the time that he lost a bunch of money. Or just wanted to keep just keep abreast of what was going on with the stocks. I don't know exactly why, but he would I think that's because I would always see him on Raging Bull, which is a stock website, and then he'd go to Yahoo. And back in the day, Yahoo was where you got mostly a lot of your news. They in like the early 2000s, Yahoo.com's homepage gave you like 6 news stories, and they were always really cool or really exciting or really interesting, and they had it going on back in the day. I don't remember if Yahoo got bought out by Google or what happened to Yahoo. I think technically Yahoo's still around. A lot of people used to have Yahoo emails. I don't remember if I had a Yahoo email at yahoo.com. Anyways, that's not about, this video's not about Yahoo, but he'd be on Yahoo. And I think it was on a Yahoo News article. If it wasn't, it doesn't really matter where the news article was from. But he told our family, because he's on the internet, on the desktop, it's like a big black box, like a smaller black box than your bigger box. There was a big black box, which was the TV. The small box was the computer. If you guys remember these days, you're a real one. You know what's going on. If you don't remember this, your opinion doesn't matter. You're too young for your opinion to matter, and you're a menace to society, and please don't watch my video. But if you remember what it was like to have a box as a computer, that's what I'm talking about. So he was sitting at that desk. Nobody had laptops. Nobody had the internet on their phone. There was no smartphones. I remember the other day I heard that the first app on a phone was the Snake app on the Nokia phone. I didn't know that was an app. It didn't look like an app. It was just a game. But you had to go search for it in your Nokia. I was searching for it in my dad's Nokia phone, found it. He let us play it. I remember playing that Snake game. And I remember playing there was like a Space Invaders also on the original Nokias. It was freaking awesome. At my grandma's house here in Utah, ironically, I'm like 10 miles out from Tooele right now. I actually beat the whole game of the Space Invaders game on the Nokia phone, which was very hard. And that was one of the high points of my young life, because I didn't even know you could beat it. And I beat it. And I was like, once I beat it, I was like, my life is complete. I thought I had fulfilled my life's mission when I beat that game. So I was like 10 years old. Distinctly remember sitting on my grandma's porch. I also remember always growing up thinking like, oh, my grandma's house is a magical place. My grandma's house is a place of miracles and magic. And deep down in my soul, I kind of knew like it was like a source of like sustenance, like cause she had a shit ton of money, and that she'd always help us if we need. But growing up wasn't quite the case. A lot of twists and turns in life, a lot of sort of misunderstandings, and people just not really seeing eye to eye. And I really could have had a really better life financially if I had kissed ass to some of my family. But I'm not, people think I'm a kiss ass but here's the thing, and I thought about this the other day. I've been called a kiss ass many times throughout my life. Here's the thing that I thought about the other day. I buy pizza. I work at a pizza place. I buy pizza and I share it, right? Other day I'm sharing pizza with my buddy, who's my coworker. He can't give me a promotion. He can't help me. He doesn't control my job in any way. I shared my pizza with him. That's not being a kiss ass. And I was realizing, in my defense, I'm cool with a lot of people. Okay? I'm not just cool with higher ups. I'm actually not. It may look like I'm a kiss ass, but I'm cool with whoever. So when, you know, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'll be cool with subordinates. How come nobody criticizes you when you're cool with people below you or your same level? They just criticize you when you're cool with people above you. And I'm not always cool with people above me. If I don't like them, if I really don't like them, I probably won't be that cool with them. I'm just genuinely me. And I don't consider myself really a kiss ass. So anyways, if I had kissed ass with a lot of my family, I'd probably have, I mean, like, literally, I mean, it'd be, things could be different, but I've never been a kiss ass. I've always been me. Or at least not a kiss ass with my family. And I would say 70-80% of the time I've been accused of being a kiss ass at jobs. It's not really accurate. If I'm guilty, I'm not trying to run away from things I'm guilty of either. But I don't, most of the time, it's not really, because in my soul, if I'm really, really, really kissing ass, you know why I like managers? Because I see them as people who are successful. I like successful people. So yeah, I've been cool with a lot of managers and bosses in the past. Not all of them. Not all of them, believe you me. And that's all I'm going to say about all that. But anyways, back to the Nokia phone and the app and the Space Invaders and the app and all this stuff, right? So I'm back from the old school days. Some people are older than me. Some people are younger than me. Whatever. What is this video even about? If you're still watching, my hat goes off to you. Because I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. No, I'm kidding. I know what I'm talking about. So my father's sitting at the computer desk. It was originally I think that desk was, I can't remember. I think that desk was around before the computers, and it was just like a desk. Like if you wanted to write a letter, you sat at the desk. They had magazines. My dad would read magazines, sit in the desk, read magazines, whatever. I think he had a goal of getting a computer, but he hadn't got one yet. And when he got a computer, he put it on the desk. And forever after, it was the computer desk. And the computer desk stopped when my dad divorced my mom. My mom took all the things of the family and moved them to my grandma's house. That desk had to go in the trash. There's no space for it. I don't know if my dad took his computer with him when he left to Utah to divorce my mom, which I didn't find out about till years later. Or if he left the computer there. I don't know what happened to the computer. Did it get chucked in the trash? Did it get given away to somebody? I don't know. I never saw that computer after I left for Honduras. I never saw that apartment, the inside of the apartment after I left for Honduras. I never saw my room. I never saw my bed. I had a drawer, a dresser with a bunch of notes in it and like cool stuff. And one thing I do remember writing down in that drawer, which I thought was really important at the time, was I think it was like the Union 30, or was that roofing? It was like the Union Electrical Guild that I was gonna hit up maybe when I got back from the mission to become maybe like an electrician, which I never ended up doing. It's really, really psychologically shocking to step out of your home not expecting that it'll all be gone, and then you can't get back to your home. Not only, like, one, legally you can't go to an apartment you don't rent, but it's not there. Like even if the owners of apartment E, where I grew up on Milton Avenue, even if they had let me in, it's not my house anymore. It's very weird. But anyways, my dad was at the computer desk and he told the family, or he told me or the family, like, hey, you know, this article is pretty cool. It says that sunsets and sunrises are psychologically healthy, and so you should like watch sunsets and sunrises. And I was like, oh, that stuck with me. And then we went on a couple, I always started to do that. I'm like, I was a troubled kid. So then I started watching, and to this day, right? To this day, I like watching sunsets. So I'd watch sunsets and sunrises. One time my dad and I went on a hike, and that was probably the closest I ever felt to my pops, that he was at some level a decent or a good man, and we shared a moment of like, you know, I'm a man, you're a man, or a young man, gonna be a man soon. And, you know, I felt like he supported me. I felt like he understood me, who I am, that he respected me as a human. I think that was the peak. I mentioned the peak of my being a child, beating that video game, the Space Invaders video game on the Nokia phone. That was probably the peak of getting along with my dad, was that we hiked up into the Whittier Hills. This is before they put a giant gate around the Whittier Hills. There's not supposed to be a gate around them. That's a whole other story for another day. And we watched the sunset, and we talked about some deep stuff. Like, in our church, we believe that we can be, you know, it gets deep. So, quite frankly, we believe that we can be like God one day. And obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. It may take eons and eons and eons and eons and eons of time. But we mentioned that principle to each other. And so I think that was part of what was so devastating about how he never wanted to help me go, wanted to help me pay for college or sign up for college. And it seemed like he never believed much in me, or didn't want to believe in me, or didn't really want to have much to do with me. Because after sharing a moment like that, it's kind of how girls feel when they feel like, well, you loved me, didn't you love me? Right? The whole betrayal of like being close to someone, but then they don't give a shit about you. It's a very creepy, very inhuman thing, very unhealthy thing. So it's not recommendable, if avoidable, maybe that's good to avoid. Not saying be afraid of life, but like ideally when you love someone, don't stop loving them. No, you do whatever you want. Sometimes you have to stop loving somebody because you don't want to be with them. That's how romantic relationships go. But what I never would have imagined is that a father-son relationship, my father could love me, and then he doesn't seem like he wants to have much to do with me. Why? Because I was mad at him, because he left my mom without telling me. I think that's fair. I think that's valid. And as a man, how can he be so petty that he's not going to talk to me anymore, have anything to do with me anymore, because I didn't agree with how he did something? I often see the way my dad has acted as very childish and not really the mark of a man. If my son, I've told people this before, if my son looked at me and said, hey, fuck you, Dad, fuck you, I hate you, that would not be the end of my relationship with my son. Not even thinkable. It's not even thinkable in my mind. And I never said fuck you to my dad, and I never said I hate you to my dad. I remember him saying that he hates me when I was like in 2nd grade. I can't forget that even if I want to. Besides that, I have a very good memory. And I was like a child. I was a child, younger than 10 years old. He told me he was going to take my last name away and go to the Social Security office and take my last name away is what he told me. He told me he was going to do that, which I don't think is a very cool thing to do or to say. He didn't do it. I still have my last name. And I've told myself a lot as I've gotten older, like, my last name is not my dad's last name. It's my fucking last name. You know what I mean? So that's a cool thing about being an adult, is like, you own your last name. You don't have to worry about like, oh, what's my dad gonna think or not. It's your last name. You make whatever, and that's how it's been very painful to peel back those psychological layers and reclaim my last name, but it truly is my last name. I don't know why, but I'm gonna leave the video on that, and hope you guys are all having a great one. Make it great. We only have one life.